Alright, I'm going to make a quick video here to show you how to use some of the appliances, and also just to show you everything works. 2 propane tanks up front. You only use one at a time, but you keep them both hooked up. And then up front there's a little valve there. You turn that in the direction of whichever tank you are using. 12-volt battery there. There's a switch on the bottom of the jack. That's what raises the front and lowers the front of the trailer. Each 4 corners has a stabilizer jack on it here. That makes it more stable when you're parked for a while, so it doesn't rock around when you're walking in it. An auxiliary gas line there, so if you want to get an exterior grill that runs off propane, you would get a hose to connect to there, and it would utilize the propane from inside the tank. This is just a refrigerator access door to service the refrigerator if it ever broke, so you shouldn't need to touch that. This is where your heat exhaust is and your fresh air intake for your furnace. If you ever have a problem getting your furnace to light, sometimes there can be a bee's nest in there. You have to clean that out. This is where your power supply hooks up. I'll give you a cord to go with it as well. Cable hooks up there if you have cable or satellite access. Here's an outdoor shower. I'll try to do it with one hand here, but I will have it winterized, so that's not going to work until you put water back in it in springtime. Underneath there is your city water connection, which means if you have access to a hose, it would connect to here. If you don't have access to hose and you want to put water in a fresh water tank, it would go here. If you have access to a hose, that's much better because you get better water pressure and you never have to worry about filling a tank. Below is your drain valves for your waste. The smaller pipe here is your gray water, which is your sink and shower water. The larger size is your black water, which is your wastewater. This is your water heater over here. You don't really have to do anything to it. It's just controlled by a panel on the inside of the trailer, and I'll show you that when we get in there. Hidden behind here, really tough to see, is a switch. You can kind of see it there. If you want to use electricity to heat your hot water, that is the switch you would turn on. However, a lot of people use propane because it heats it much faster. It's very important if you use the switch for electricity to heat the water that you have the hot water tank full of water, otherwise you'll burn out the heating element. I'll walk around to the inside here. This couch here does fold down into a bed, and it also folds up into the wall, against the wall if you're going to use it for hauling a motorcycle or a four-wheeler. Here's the control panel. This is for the awning, but it no longer has an awning. This is for all your tanks, and your battery level, showing battery is full. Fresh water tank is almost empty. Black water tank is empty, and gray water tank is empty. Anytime you want to use the water, you turn the water pump on, and you can see a little light illuminate. Once that is on, you can just walk around, turn on the water. Hit all the valves. And toilets operated by a foot flush. Water is pretty simple. If you want to turn on the hot water, then you turn on that hot water switch right here, unless you have turned on the switch already on the outside for electric hot water, then you wouldn't use them both at the same time. I'll walk around to the outside just to show you that that works. Not sure if you can see the flame or not right inside there. That's heating the hot water. And we'll go ahead and shut that off and the water pump off. These are just interior and exterior porch lights. I have the propane turned on, so all we have to do to light the stove, turn it to light. You'll hear the propane coming out, and then you hit the sparker. They're all lit. Turn it to off. If you want to light the oven, you turn this to pilot and you push it inwards. At the same time, you have to hold a grill style lighter way up in there to where the pilot is. Once it's lit, then you can release this. For the first time every year, it takes a good 30 seconds or so to get the dust out of that system. Microwave oven, fan and light. 12-volt refrigerator. You just press this to turn it on. And once it's on, these tend to take a little while to get cool because they're just 12 volt, but they get really nice and cold and they stay cold for a long time without drawing much power. If this light here is ever not green and it's red, then there's probably a problem with the propane or you might be out. This will take a queen size bed here. Lights there, lights above. Smoke detectors, you're going to want to change the batteries on them because they only are 6 years on these. So if it's not been changed, it'll need it. Down over here is your electrical panel. All your 12 volt appliances are controlled with the regular fuses. All the 120 volt appliances are controlled with the breakers. If you're ever going to be not using the trailer for a while, it's important to turn off this battery switch right here. Otherwise, little things like the carbon monoxide light will drain the battery after some time. Also, the light on there is green, which means it's good. If it turns to yellow and starts to make an annoying beeping sound, it's time to replace the carbon monoxide detector. If it turns to red, then you got to replace it. Or I'm sorry, you got to leave the trailer, turn off the gas because you have a propane leak at some point. Sometimes if you have a motorcycle or an ATV in here, that will trigger it to go off, so keep that in mind. Stereo here and TV above. Remotes from right there. Air conditioner is located on the ceiling. You just turn it to temperature setting. Turn it back off. It does say there's a switch here for optional heat. That's if it had a heat pump, but I doubt it does. They usually do not. If you want heat, you come over here to the wall thermostat. Just put it up to a higher setting. And then you'll hear the heat turn on. You see the heating duct over here for it. This is the cold air return. I just heard the furnace fire up. So it'll start getting hot in here in a minute. I don't know if I can access this panel with one hand. Probably can't. Storage under the bed here. You can also get to this from the outside compartment. So if you have a mattress on there, you wouldn't be able to get to it anyways. Bunch of different keys for it. The little round key is for the outside compartments and the outside shower. And then you have two separate door keys and two separate, looks like rear door for the trailer ramp door. The screen does unzip or it rolls up to get out of the way. And then there's the ramp. You have tie-downs on the floor if you're going to go ahead and tie a vehicle down. That should be it, but if you ever have to get a hold of me with any questions, I can be reached at 414-248-3528.